if it's a workforce development need, asking then the people who have the jobs, what do you need? What kinds of training and education do you need? Designing those programs, developing them, implementing them, and then continuously assessing what you need to change or tweak. We've been doing that now. This is our 18th year.
Wow.
We became a statewide initiative a few years ago, and gosh, we are now up to, Anthony, there are 40 CECs across Georgia. There's one in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There's one in San Antonio, and another one developing. So it kind of keeps growing. We added last year, again, using that same process. We went back to the businesses at the table and said, so now what do you need? And we specifically focused on manufacturers. That's an important part of our economy. One of the reasons we focused on manufacturers was because our community, who was at the table, said we want to focus on growing manufacturing and healthcare. They pay higher salaries, and we want our salary levels in the community.
Yeah.
So, with our attention to manufacturing and healthcare, salaries have been going up. We asked, what's the next step? What do we need to do? They said, well, we need to do a real German apprenticeship program.
Yay.
That's the gold standard for apprenticeship in the world. And so we began to design that. And we went to the owner of those programs, the German Chamber. We got the curriculum. They translated it into English. We worked with our technical college system at the state level to shape that into certificates, diploma, associate degree. We put it in place. This is our second year. We now have other communities replicating it. What the Germans tell us is, guys, y'all are the first people in the United States ever to do this for kids as young as age 15 with a consortium of companies involved. So we have 8 companies, Japanese, German, Canadian, and American. And I just got back from Germany. We signed an agreement with the Secretary of Education in Bavaria, southern Germany, where many of our companies are headquartered, to do exchange programs so that kids in our community who, I'm thinking of one guy right now. Somebody called me this morning and said, hey, that kid, poor family, he didn't know what to do. He liked hunting and fishing. He didn't know what to do. He got into this apprenticeship program. He is all excited. He's making money while he's in it. Now he's going to get to be one of the first people to do an exchange program.
Wow.
He's 18. He'll go to Germany and spend time in some of their classes while some of those students come here and spend time in our classes. So that young man will probably never have traveled north of Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
And now he'll be going to Germany with credentials that really qualify him to go anywhere in the world. And at age 18, he will have a high school diploma, an associate degree, or nearly an associate degree. He'll have German certification, U.S. Department of Labor certification. He'll have about $20,000 in his pocket that the local manufacturer has paid him over the 3 years.
Wow.
He'll have no debt, and he'll have a job that starts at between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. Our starting teachers in Georgia, after 4 years of university with debt, make about $36,000.
That's crazy. Yeah. Our superintendent of schools just told us the average teacher here doesn't earn $50,000 until they're 20 years in.
There you go.
Oh my. Mr. Whitlock, I have a question for you. You said that the industry or the businesses drive the need or the programs you create. Over the 40 years you all have been in existence, have you phased out programs because need waned and you needed something different?
Two responses. First response, I'm just Mark. My dad was Mr. Whitlock. I'm not nearly old enough. Second response, in our 18 years, we have phased out programs because
yes, 18.
Either the industry no longer needed them, or young people didn't respond to them, and that's the first problem that you have. A lot of young people just don't know about all the careers out there.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So you sometimes I can think of this apprenticeship program. We're bringing back a machine tool lab, CNC machinery, really high-tech stuff. The forerunner of that we closed down about 10, 12 years ago because students didn't respond to it. Now it's part of this apprenticeship program. Now the technology is more than extremely automated. And these kids are responding to it because they see how it's applied in a career, not just how it stands alone as an occupation.
Right. Mm-hmm. How many students are involved?
Sure. In our entire program, CEC, we will serve this year about 1,500 different 8th through 12th graders.
Okay.
If I go by last year's number, between 500 and 550 of those will be dual enrolled in Western Technical College while they're in high school. Our figure last year on internships, 510 students, 255 employers participating. So about roughly 1/2 to 2/3 of the students will have a touch of work-based learning or dual enrollment during their experience with CEC, and that's kind of the ultimate. It's one of the reasons we've worked backward in our design as we continuously assess what we're doing and go back through that process loop. We worked through and we said, what this means is if this is what employers really like, if they like high school students to have had success in college and success in the workplace while they're in high school, then we've got to get a younger student here. So we went back and looked at Ford Foundation research and found that, wow, a lot of 8th graders, a lot of 13-year-olds, well, 7th graders, a lot of 7th graders were really asking tough career questions. Mm-hmm. So we designed an 8th grade academy. Mm-hmm. We're bringing 120 kids a year here now in the 8th grade in a lottery-driven program. And they're studying all year long. They're getting a taste of the technical programs. And that's helping us to grow our 9th and 10th grade populations so that as those students age out in their high school career, they'll have time to get involved in internships and apprenticeships and technical college dual enrollment. As the process, as the ADDIE process would tell us, if we keep evaluating what we do at the end and we keep going back to reanalyze, redesign, redevelop, reimplement, the loop never ends.
Right. Got that right.
And I think the other thing to emphasize with CEC is that it's not a standalone school, right? So people stay at their schools and take classes at CEC, right? So one of the things that CEC was also able to avoid is the stigma of, well, you're one of those kids, right? And not to say that there are a few that still go to CEC full time, but you are taking courses and getting certified while going to your base high school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not going to that school.
I mean, we are in the South, so they can still play football, and that's important here. They can still play in the band. They still graduate. They're still a Newnan Cougar when they graduate. The community said we don't want to take away the high school experience. We want to enrich it. We want to make it more valuable while they're in high school. And by the way, our school district earns less revenue than the average school district in Georgia, so we're not a wealthy school district. Yet we are one of only about 1/3 of the districts in Georgia that provide 4 blocks of instruction a day. That means they have 32 chances in high school to take advantage of some of these opportunities. That means that we have about 25% more high school opportunities than the average school district in Georgia. Now that's more costly to do, and we're poorer than the average school district. So how do we do that? That's part of the design of this. Part of the design is you look for diversification of funding. So you bring in college level funding. You bring in industry funding for programs that they want. You bring in all those kinds of opportunities that help you in the design of the program that you've analyzed the need.
I have you mentioned you decided you needed a younger student. I'm assuming school counselors are involved in the process to advise students. How does advising work for the students in the program in terms of the courses they need on their home campus, what they're taking with you, and what that looks like in terms of their career after they're finished with the training?
Yeah, so one of the first things that was done was to make sure that there is less of that need to take courses on the home campus that would prohibit a student from coming here. So we've got enough academics in the mix here that students can come here and not worry as much about missing something that they've got to have at their home high school. They can still choose to take it at their home high school, but they could take U.S. history here.
Okay.
Economics here. Is that about making their schedule more flexible, more feasible? Yeah. Is it about getting more students to be able to make the choice to come here? Yeah. Does it help counselors in the high schools be more comfortable that we're going to meet all the graduation requirements? Yeah. But it's also about teaching young people today. There's no more technical versus academic. It's all combined. If you can't read really well and read technical manuals, your Lexile score is probably not going to be high enough to enter some of these highly technical roles right out of high school. If you can't compute properly, then how are you going to do some of the angles that are needed in sophisticated TIG welding programs in customized manufacturing sites? So geometry becomes important. It's all about the idea, as Dr. Joe Harless used to say, we're going to trick them into learning.
Yeah.
Because the economy forces us to mix academics and technical skills today in a way that's beyond anything we've ever seen before.
Mark, I got to say, off the record, off track here, you kind of remind me of Roy Williams.
Yeah, he does. He does.
You know that name?
I do. I'm honored.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
you remind
He's a
me.
legend around here.
Yeah. So, Mark,
Yeah.
what is selection criteria? How do you select students
We
for
don't.
the academy?
We don't. They choose.
Oh.
So students opt in.
Oh, yeah.
Students opt in. Yeah, we don't have an admission criteria except for certain areas of programming. So if you're in technical college, you got to pass the entrance exam. But we'll help you get there. If you're in work-based learning, you've got to have some record of good attendance. But we'll help you get there. We've got ways to help you get there, and we don't. This is not about selecting students; it's about allowing students.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
I know. See, we're only familiar with apprenticeship programs that screen out kids.
Right.
Well, you know what? The apprenticeship program is interesting because the student does have to pass the college admission exam. They have to go through then a series of interviews. So it's really up to them to show the company that they're passionate about it, not that they're particularly good at it, because they're just ninth graders when they start this process. But all the company wants to know is, do you really want to do this? We'll teach you how, but all they want to see, their only criteria is the want to.
Right.
The motivation.
Wow.
If they see the motivation, then they'll select the student.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mark, I'm recording this if that's okay, just for some of the other board members.
Sure. Yeah, I hope you kept that comment in about remind him of Roy Williams, because I want to share that with my wife.
I'll play the recording so you can prove it.
I'm going to need proof of that.
We'll edit out the Seminole comments.
If I recall,
Now, they don't know that I actually met Coach Smith.
oh wow!
Okay.
Oh God!
In fact, when
Special guy.
when the first ACC tournament was held in Atlanta, I had to help him find the Georgia Dome where it was.
Oh no!
He got lost in a parking lot at State University, and I was headed to class. I was doing my MBA at night while I was at Bank of America, and this guy rolls his window down, and I looked at him. I said, "Coach Smith." He said, "Yeah." He said we introduced ourselves, and he said, "Can you do me a favor?" I said, "Sure." He said, "Help me get out of this parking lot and get to the Georgia Dome." I said, "Sure, I can." And so I helped him get out of the parking lot, and sure enough, across the street was a bus, and I could see James Worthy. I could see all those guys on the bus.
82 teams.
That's right. That's right.
That's the dream team. That's the first dream team.
That was the dream team.
That's right. The first one.
And I remember thinking, as I looked at Coach Smith, you're a lot taller than you look on that court. But then I said, I guess he's always standing up against people who are 6'11", 6'10", and so you'd probably look short then.
That's right. So, Mark, when you look at the outcomes, tell us a little bit about this. What are these kids doing once they leave the CEC?
Sure. And here's another part of the evaluation that we need help with. Education as a whole does a really poor job of following its product.
Yeah.
My comment has always been, if I didn't send a check to the University of Georgia, they wouldn't know whether I was dead or alive.
Yeah.
And that's my alma mater.
Yeah.
But what we've been able to do is to get some, not just anecdotal data, we've been able to start collecting data about outcomes in broad areas. For example, if a young person in the CEC program gets a technical college certificate, which generally takes them half a day for a full semester. If they get a technical college certificate while they're in high school, what we're finding is that between 98 and 100% of them graduate from high school on time.
Yeah.
And between 95 and 100% of those are either in the workplace, in additional education, or doing both within 120 days of leaving high school.
Wow.
So
Whoa.
that's a virtual assurance of success.
Whoa. Wow.
Do we have that kind of data on everything? No, we don't. We don't. And we need funding, and we need to design a research protocol, and we need Dr. Chow to open up the heavens and write us a big check.
He told us that he already did that.
Yeah. he did a lot of research and it really helped us. But what I would tell you is he's not nearly finished.
Now, I'm going to hang up again. Unintended outcome. Well, you know, I think just to follow up on that, I think what we found is work ethic.
Yeah.
And what I love about CEC is it gives kids a clearer path to why they should work hard, right?
Yeah.
The why
Yeah.
I should do this.
Yeah.
Because school is dumb, it's boring,
Yeah.
it's irrelevant, I don't see it.
Yeah.
But what Mark has done and what CEC has done, the process is establish that clear path,
Yeah.
right? That clear path to a job.
Mhm.
The clear, you know, the teacher is going to say it, Mark's going to say it, but the person that's going to pay you is saying it.
Mhm.
Say, yo, if you want this job, all we need to see is that you can deliver, right?
Right.
All that you attend your classes, you know, and that's it. And I think and if you think about the work ethic, once you got that work ethic, right, you generalize it to everything.
And a paycheck on top of it doesn't hurt.
Oh,
Motivate.
Well, when you think about the relevance of education, right, it makes it a lot clearer. Because I think, as Mark and all of us have found, it's not about intelligence. It's about the fact. It's the why.
Right.
Why? Why should I do this? And the more we try to fail them, right, the more they're like, forget it. Forget it. I'm not.
The more we try to make losers out of them for things that employers tell us are really irrelevant.
Yeah.
The more they turn us off, and the more they say, well, here's another person telling me to wait 4 more years. 4 more years to hang in there. We're not telling them that. We're telling them what you can do to get a great paycheck really early in your life. When we say great, we mean better than some of the adults who've been
So, Mark, what percentage of students would you say you guys are touching now on the high school level?
Yeah, Anthony, we are at participation rate between 46 and 50% of all the high school graduates in Coweta County come through this program while they're
Wow. Good. That's unreal.
And your dropout rate's still pretty low, I would assume?
between 2 and 3%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our
Between 2 and 3%. So he's right. They're performing.
That's because of the hands-on, right?
Oh my
the students have a place to go. That makes sense.
That is amazing. Unreal.
Anthony, we're starting to grow our own teachers. We got people coming back who were here a generation ago when we started. We've got one young lady who chairs the dental assisting program for West Georgia Tech. Now, when she was a student at Northgate High School, she wanted to drop out, and she found CEC. And now she's the chair of the dental assisting program.
That's wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would tell you that sounds good, but let me tell you what else she's done. She created a dental clinic with the local free clinic, the Coweta Samaritan Clinic. We call it Coweta Samaritan Dental Clinic. It uses her lab 3 Monday nights a month to provide dental services to uninsured local citizens, everything from infection control to dentures, with using 14, 15 volunteer dentists, and her high school age dual assistants providing service. Now that program was cited by the state of Georgia in 2015 and was slated to present to the 2015 World Summit of Nobel Peace Laureates that was supposed to be held in Atlanta. It got moved to Barcelona, Spain, and we didn't get travel budget. But anyway, those kids were going to be talking to President Obama, President Carter, both who are Nobel Peace Laureates, because of this program at little old CEC in little old Coweta County in little old Newnan, Georgia.
Wow. That is just so incredibly moving. Yes. Anthony, Mark, I had a question. For some reason, something came up I was reading. You all have had quite a bit of experience working with communities and schools programs.
We have, and we value communities and schools a lot, to the point where the PLC, the Performance Learning,
Yes, that's what it was.
we actually incorporated that here, and the school system decided to do all the funding for it.
Yeah.
Relieve communities and schools of that burden.
Yeah.
Then the community through the chamber, the school system helped the community to reinvigorate the board and get a bunch of people on the board who could raise a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So we now have full communities and schools programs at some of our Title I schools.
Yep.
And it's making a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Students all the way from elementary through high school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that effort that's helping us to drive up the on-time high school completion rate. By the way, our on-time high school completion rate is about 86%. Here's the kicker, though. We have a higher bar to graduate from high school in Coweta County. You have to finish 28 courses in Coweta County versus the statewide average of 24. We have 32 opportunities to do that. So the school system created that bigger schedule to incorporate the notion of CEC. That was one of the things the school system did in the design process of CEC. They said, we got to take all our high schools to 4x4 blocks so that our young people have more opportunity to go to CEC and take advantage of these programs. Well, what they also did then, that literally raised the bar for graduation. And we've got a school system next door to us in one of the wealthiest communities in Georgia. They only require 24 credits to graduate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you took our graduation rate and weighted it based on the fact that you got to have 4 extra credits to graduate, we'd be well over 90% on-time graduation rate.
Wow.
We'd be ahead of school systems like that.
Wow. Wow.
And they got a lot more money than we do.
Wow. How many of the kids in high school that qualify for free and reduced price meals?
In Coweta County, that's going to be between 45 and 50%.
Wow. Uh-huh. Okay. It's just fantastic. So is there a better time for us to come visit you than some other time? I know you're looking for some other things to do.
It's not when Georgia's playing. Georgia. Beating Alabama in the SEC.
That would be it.
Oh, let's dream.
I'd love for somebody to knock him off that
somebody
threshold.
Needs to. and well, they shouldn't let Nick Saban talk.
Yes, I will. He's so.
He should not be allowed to speak.
Well, I will tell you, as a loyal Georgia fan, that after listening to Coach Saban this year, when Georgia was named #1, and they started saying all those great things about Georgia. All us Georgia fans got together and yelled rat poison.
That's right. I knew you were going to say, he said, rat poison. That is so funny. Somebody asked him what did that mean. He didn't have no idea. It just came out.
That was for his team. That wasn't for the media.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's exactly correct. We'd love
to have you, and the best times to visit here are Monday through Thursday. Because you then get to see all the technical college programs in operation. Some of those don't operate on Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'd love to have you Monday through Thursday, and we can figure out what are some best dates for you guys and for
Okay.
Yeah.
It is just amazing. I can't tell you how long we have worked on some shape, form, or fashion of this kind of experience for our kids. And it almost appears like every time we think we've made some progress, the school system comes through and just knocks it down. It's just crazy. If there is an attitude here, you said something about the German secretary saying that you were the first group from the United States to do this. What is that? What is it about our culture that presents such challenges?
I think it's that it's just not been done before, number one. Second, I think, I always refer back to a great book I read by Mike Rose, who's a professor at UCLA. He talked about the mind at work, is the title of the book. And he went around the United States talking to people in what we would call traditional blue-collar jobs to find out about all the academic processes that they had to go through to be successful in their jobs. And his conclusion was that in America we have devalued work.
Yeah.
We have suggested that there's good work and bad work.
Yeah.
We've suggested that my dad, who grew up and went off to World War II and got his education in the Army Air Force, then came back to run power plants for Georgia Power Company, taught the engineering graduates from Georgia Tech and Auburn, but because he only had a high school diploma,
that's right.
He never made as much as they did.
Yeah.
We've suggested that people like that are less worthy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And that's a real problem in our culture. You don't really see that in Germany.
Yeah.
I think too, Mark, the other thing that we discovered is that's not how I did it syndrome too.
Right.
So think about all your teachers, right?
Yeah.
All your teachers had to get that for you.
Right, true.
So it's, that's how I did it, so that's how you need to do it. Right. So I can't.
So I'm assuming because you all are focusing on technical careers, that a lot of the jobs students end up in are blue collar?
You would call them blue collar. Now,
blue collar, $50,000 price.
Right, but the second part of that though is, do you have companies that have interest in white collar training programs?
Yes, and I will tell
Okay.
I will tell you that one of the things the apprenticeship companies have told us is that these young men coming out of, and can be young ladies too, we hope to recruit young ladies to it, but these young people coming out of the apprenticeship program, some of them are already slated for management roles in the companies.
Wow.
We're looking at these folks the way the German system looks at it, and they're saying, if you come through one of these apprenticeship programs, this is like an alternative to a 4-year degree, which they don't have in Germany. They have 3-year bachelor's degrees, and they don't have associate degrees in Germany. So the whole notion is, can you do the job? Can you learn the company? Can you learn everything about the company so that you can run the company? You'll find case after case of people in that system who grow up and run companies.
Wow.
So,
Like the young lady you mentioned
are
before.
they looking for white collar? Yes. Are they starting with blue collar? Yes. Or are we producing people who do really unique stuff? Yeah. I just got an email this week from Chad, who's now a graduate student at Georgia Tech, from the McMurdo Base Research Station in Antarctica, where he's helping Georgia Tech look at the ability of one of the moons outside Jupiter to actually have things like water or grass or things that we would consider to be part of biological life on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's after Chad has done internships with Google, tagging whales all over the world so that Google can track them in scientific research experiments.
Wow.
It's after Chad spent summer at NASA in Houston designing parts for the next Mars rover mission.
Wow.
And oh, by the way, Georgia Tech didn't want to admit Chad.
Yeah.
Chad didn't have great SAT scores.
Yeah.
We called Georgia Tech and said, "What's wrong with y'all?
Exactly.
We got to keep this kid in Georgia." We had a friend at the Gold Dome do that, and Georgia Tech's director of nuclear research cleared his calendar. Chad spent an afternoon with him, and Chad's parents went, obviously. At the end of it, the guy said, "Chad, we're going to admit you, and oh, by the way, I'm going to give you space to continue your research."
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Chad, what we've discovered is you have developed, while you're at CEC, you have developed the smallest working nuclear fusion reactor ever built on Earth. And we'd like to have your brain power at Georgia Tech. We don't really care about your SAT.
Exactly.
So his first year at Tech, they sent him out to NASA in the summer. NASA in Houston says, "Well, Chad, you come with high recommendations. Let's figure out what you can do here. We need to use you this summer." Chad said, "Well, I can do this kind of engineering design stuff." "Really? What class at Tech did you learn that in?" He said, "I didn't learn that at Tech. I was a junior at CEC when I learned that." He said that software that you're using, Chad, is it's more powerful than the software we use at NASA, but it's what we use to design parts for the Mars rover mission. So that's what you're going to do, and one day you'll have your name on parts that are on Mars.
Wow.
That's what he did as a freshman after he had, at the end of his high school career, displayed, again, the smallest working nuclear fusion reactor ever built. Came in third in the world in Intel's Science and Engineering Fair in Los Angeles.
Wow.
And, I mean, this was a kid who didn't really like high school.
Yeah.
He didn't see, he loved physics, but he didn't see all the relevance of a lot of it. And now he's like a guru.
Well, I think, too, that the key to what Mark is saying is that I think the whole blue-collar, white-collar is nonsensical in the end.
Yeah,
because
right.
the research is also showing that you love what you love.
Right.
And then the whole climb up the ladder thing is a misnomer, because although moving white-collar is going to mean more money, yeah, as Mark has introduced me to the book First Break All the Rules, what we're finding is that you're good at what you're good at.
Right.
And don't put a label on it.
Yeah.
That's what you're good at. Enjoy it. And then certainly management might be in your future later, but that's not what you're doing. Like in his example, Chad's the same thing. Leave the man alone.
Right.
Don't put labels on him. Let him do his thing.
Yeah. Right. Well, the reason I asked the white collar, blue collar question is because the Convitech program that I mentioned to you before we started, it's a white collar entry level position that they're training for, because they have a large baby boomer population that's about to move into retirement, and they're dealing with government regulations and quality assurance that's really detail-oriented, and they need those people to train a new age group to take over those entry-level jobs. So that's one of the reasons I asked.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, one of the things that you said that has just really resonated so deeply with me, one of my greatest concerns about the kids we work with, and a lot of kids, is that they're being made to feel like they are second or third or fourth class.
Right.
They are not born to the manor and headed towards a 4-year school. Absolutely ridiculous what secondary school system has done in this country in terms of making these kids feel inferior, because they may be interested in diesel mechanics.
Right.
And every day they go to school, somebody's asking them about a 4-year college degree, and they really like, I really want to study diesel mechanics.
That's right. That's right. It's a shame. It's a crime. It's awful what our culture has done. And we can change it, and we can change it pretty quickly. And we've got young people, you know, the thing that changes it is when you see the successes of young people. I did a presentation to the Civic Club this morning. Afterward, I had 2 people come up to me and say, hey, they were grandfathers. They said, you know, we know either our grandchildren or their boyfriend, girlfriend who went through CEC, they're making X, and they're making more than the kid who just graduated.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
We had a young man last year. We're again, as we keep improving, as we keep evaluating and reassessing, refunding, we started adding to our welding program, our college welding program, the ability of young people to learn the processes and take the entry-level welding test from various companies in the area. The first company that we started that with did an experiment with us. And they said, here's a young man who's raised his hand. He said he'd like to work with our company. He's seen what we do. We'd like him to take our welding test and learn about our processes as an add-on to his college-level welding certificates. So we did that. He was dual enrolled, so he's a high school student taking this welding program. He finished his certifications, and as he graduated from high school, they hired him and said, now, we're going to limit you this year to $80,000 a year.
What?
We're not going to let you work enough overtime to make $100,000.
I went across the street one day, this is a number of years ago, and I asked the supervisor, how much did the guy earn operating that backhoe? And he said $65,000. That doesn't include overtime. I told Angie Carter. She said, "Where do I sign?"
Mark, I apologize, but we have somebody else coming in the room here.
Whoa! Thank you so much. Yes.
Appreciate your interest.
Yeah, Mark, it's great seeing you. Congratulations again on all that you've done, all the lives you've changed.
Yes.
And again, real privileged to be part of it.
Thank you all for what you're doing with communities and schools. That's an incredible program.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Have a good one.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
We'll be in touch, Mark. Thank you.
Oh, man. That is one.